Welcome to our second lunch break summer orientation topic presented by LHU Orientation. Today's agenda, we will do a quick introduction from the staff and students I have in the room. We're going to do a little bit of trivia. We're going to hear from LHU student Caitlin Bathurst. We'll allow some questions for Caitlin after her presentation. We're going to touch upon LHU resources to help. We're going to play a little bit of trivia again, just a quick question. We'll go through some highlighted areas of LHU that we'll kind of touch upon every week. And then we'll allow for some Q&A about any LHU topic that you folks may have. Feel free to use the chat function. My staff will be monitoring the chat. Or when we give an opportunity for folks to ask questions, you can feel free to unmute yourself and ask a question in that way as well. So quick introductions from everybody. I will start with myself. My name is George Rischek. If you haven't yet heard from me in accepted student day presentations or any of the other orientation presentations that we've had, I am a proud LHU alumni. I have 3 degrees from LHU, 2 undergrad and a master's degree. Met my wife here, and so I always say I have two beautiful children as a result of LHU. I am the Associate Director of Student Affairs, and that means I wear several hats here, including orientation coordination. I run our early alert program. I run alcohol and other drug education. I would do some work with Title IX. And the thing that I hope that your students don't get involved with is I do some work with student conduct and hear some conduct cases as well. And if we could take a moment then, I'll allow my student assistants to introduce themselves. We'll go in the order Kirsten, Trinity, and Kalila, and then we'll allow Caitlin to introduce herself, who'll be doing the presentation. And no particular order besides that's how you appear on my screen. So Kirsten.
Thanks, George. Hi, everyone. I'm Kirsten. I'm a senior here at Lock Haven, and I am also a social work major. I'll be graduating in December, so that's super, super exciting. Right now, I am summer staff, like George had mentioned, and just here for the summer. I'm also an RA, and yeah, here to help you if you need anything.
Hi everyone, I'm Trinity Wursler. I graduated from LHU last spring, and I currently have an assistantship working for the university at the Clearfield campus, where I advise their student activities group, and I'm a resident manager at their dormitory over here. And I go to IUP, so I'm looking to work in student affairs, and I'm working with orientation with George this summer.
Hi, I'm Kalila Carrington. I'm a student here at Lock Haven University. I'm a psychology major, and I'm also part of the summer staff. And just like Kirsten, when it's fall or spring semester, I'm also an RA.
Hi, I'm Caitlin Bathurst. I'm a junior at LHU. I'm a health science major with track in community and public health education.
Thank you all. So our first Haven Trivia, and there will be a prize given, but I will hold them until the fall semester. So if students want to answer, if anybody knows the age, how old is LHU this year? Answer in the chat box. The first person to answer in the chat will get my prize, and it will usually prizes consist of a t-shirt and some other LHU gear that I have hanging out in my supply closet. So first person to answer, how old is LHU? Number of years old this year. 150 years old this year, so it is a big celebration year for LHU. Some of our celebration stuff got interrupted, of course, by COVID and the situation and being at home. So we hope that when we come back, we can have some more of our 150-year celebrations. And I'm going to turn it over to Caitlin to begin her presentation.
Hi, everybody. Today I'm going to be presenting to you guys for tips for first semester college students. So I know a lot of you are probably thinking you don't really know what's going to happen, especially with everything going on. But also, I know when I got into college, I wasn't really sure what all it entailed and what all I had to do. So I know when I first gave this presentation in my communications course, it was very important for my professor for us all to do this so that way we could share this and go through some of the struggles we had. And I decided to do tips on mine because I know these all have been very helpful for me. So I'm going to talk about 5 different tips today. The first one's going to be prioritize, and then building relationships with professors and advisors, trying new things, focusing on school, and then lastly, I'm going to talk about how you take care of yourself in college. So the first one is prioritize. The biggest thing I learned was this is a major key to being successful. You want to use a planner because you can map everything out at the beginning of every semester. As your professor will give you a syllabus, and you'll be having all the due dates for your exams and everything like that. I like to make lists because it helps to know what I have to do each day and to know what I'm looking forward to. It's really important to jot down those due dates because I know for me, the first exam is what always comes up super fast and I'm never expecting it. And it's hard to prioritize in college because you have so much going on while you're trying to maintain everything. So having a schedule is really nice because especially if you're a student athlete or you're working or anything like that, you really have to know what time you're going to have to do everything and how much time you're going to have. And then the biggest one for me for prioritizing is to set goals because then you have something to look forward to and you have something to achieve. So that just makes it all more worth the while. A big one that I thought was building relationships with professors and advisors because they really are your family mostly at college because they want to help you and they want to see you succeed. So you want to ask them a bunch of questions. They usually know the answer, and if they don't know the answer, they're going to find it for you. And they love when you ask questions, especially professors. They'll tell you all the times in their classes how they want people to ask questions, but no one ever really will. You want to be that person that asks questions because the likelihood a lot of other people have that same question. You want to go to their office hours because they will post them everywhere. They're outside their doors. They'll put them on the syllabus. They really emphasize those because a lot of students are afraid to ask questions in class. So they want you to feel comfortable to come to them, to talk to them one-on-one instead of having that pressure of being in class. And also you can just talk to them about everything, especially your advisor, because they really want to get to know you. So you're going to have to go to those office hours in order for them to get to know you. You want to share your interests and your goals with them because, especially your advisor, because they will help you as you continue your college career and for things like field experience when you get that far or taking new classes. And it's better the more they know about you, the more that they'll be able to help you. And you want to visit them regularly. A lot of students will just never go see their professors or they'll only see their advisors when they have to. And you don't want to do that. You want to visit them as much as you can because you want to have that first name basis that they know you and they ask you how you're doing when they see you. And it's just a lot easier if you go visit them because they know you're actually trying to build a relationship with them. A big one is trying new things. This one is a little hard for me because I am a commuter student to LHU and I also work a lot. But you want to get involved as much as you can. There's so many clubs on the campus. There's so many activities you can do. Or your professors will just be getting involved in different things and they'll ask you if you want to do that with them. You should always take those opportunities because you never know where you're going to end up. You want to take classes that interest you. A lot of people I know, they go straight into college and they're just like, I just want to take the classes for my major. I want to get this done. I want to make it as easy as possible for myself. You don't obviously you have to do the classes that are required of you, but you want to take ones that also interest you because after my very first semester at LHU, I changed my concentration track because I figured out that's not what I wanted to do because I was taking other classes that interest me and I found a different passion. And college is really about figuring out who you are because you're going to change a lot. You're going to meet new friends. You're in a whole different environment. So you really want to take that time to figure out what actually interests you instead of just going in and being like, oh yeah, this is might be what I want to do for the rest of my life because you never really know. You need to stay focused on school. The big one that people will stop doing is you need to go to class. If you don't go to class, you're going to get behind and professors aren't there to baby you, to keep up with you. They put everything out there. They want to help you, but you have to give that effort back to them. And you always want to be prepared because I know a lot of students will just come to class and not have anything with them. I always try to bring a notebook or a pen or a pencil just because if you're taking notes, you're more inclined to pay attention instead of just sitting there because some professors do strictly lecture only. So you really want to get involved in that class as much as you can so that you understand what's going on. I suggest to stay on top of your assignments as much as you can, because they will sneak up on you and they end so fast, and that one that's due in a month will not nearly take as long as you thought it would. So you really want to stay up on top of that. And you want to make sure you're studying, because it's true when they say you can't cram everything in and get a good grade. You might be able to do it for a little while, but it's not going to work in the long run. And you really want to be learning the material because it's stuff you're going to use for the rest of your life. And the most important to me is to take care of yourself. I feel like this is where a lot of college students slip because they're just so busy and they have so much going on. So a big one is getting enough sleep. I already did another presentation on this one, and it's very important to college students. With all the research my classmates and I found was that a lot of college students do not get nearly enough sleep as they're supposed to. So that's a big thing you need to keep up on, because if you're not getting enough sleep, you're going to be tired, you're going to slack on schoolwork, and that's not what you want to be doing. You want to exercise and try to eat healthy. That can be very hard, especially living on campus or living at home, because you're just using what's offered to you or what you have easy access to. But if you're exercising and eating healthy, you'll be more energetic. You'll have more of a positive outlook on life. So that's really important when doing well in your schoolwork as well. And you want to try to maintain a social life, because that's what a lot of students end up slipping onto, because they're like, oh, I have to study, I have to work, I don't have time for all of this. You need to make friends and you need to hang out with them, because they're going to help you a lot. I know I wouldn't get through college without the people that I've made friends with, so that's very important. And you also just need to take time for yourself to just relax every once in a while, instead of going straight. Like sometimes you just need a nap, or sometimes you just need to sit there, because a lot of students will go straight from class to do homework, to do this, to do that, and you just need to sometimes take a breather and just work on yourself for a minute. All in summary for all of this, these are just 5 tips. I know there's a lot more, but I suggest to try and follow them, because this wasn't all stuff that I was told before I got to college, and that first semester can be really tough, but it's also very exciting because you're learning so much and you're in a completely new environment and you're meeting so many new people. So if you just trust the process and try hard, you guys will all do perfectly fine, I'm sure. But thank you for listening to me today, and I'm glad you're all here, and I wish you all luck at LHU.
Does anybody have any questions for Caitlin? We can take them in the chat, or you can unmute yourself at this point and ask your question. Seeing none. Caitlin, if you could just hold on until the end, just in case there are any questions at the end, we'll come back to you. Right now, I want to make sure that as Caitlin talked about a lot of the stuff that you can face as a first semester student, some of the important things, we have a lot of resources that we can support you with here at LHU. I always tell students that high school is very different than college. There's a ton of resources available on a college campus that aren't necessarily available at a high school, but the main difference being that a lot of these offices that are available on a university aren't going to seek out students if you're having trouble. These offices are available, but students need to take the initiative and go and find them. So we have disability services. We'll have another presentation by disability services, particularly geared towards students who maybe had an IEP or other accommodations in high school. It would be great to come to that session if you haven't already been in contact with disability services. You can find that information on the orientation website. So that's a great resource that we have available as well. Health services, available to all students while classes are in session. They are open 6 days a week on LHU's campus. We have a counseling center. We have now, I believe, students correct me if I'm wrong, 3 full-time counselors that are now on staff in the health center. So we have a fully staffed counseling center, free to use for students. Public safety, we have a police force located right on campus. They are not rent-a-cops or security officers. They are full-fledged police officers that patrol our campus 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. I work a lot with the folks in career and professional development, career services. They help a lot, starting even in freshman year with resume building, interviewing, professionalism, and that's a great resource that we have. The Center for Excellence in Inclusion, which a bunch of my staff members are also interacting with, offer seminars and Haven leadership professional development. So there's excellent resources there. You heard some of the folks in the room with us today talk about how they're RAs or how they manage a building for LHU. So the student and residence life staff. Most of our buildings have professional staff members in them. And then they have upper class students who are the resident assistants living with your students on campus. So they're a great resource as well. Student activities, you heard Trinity touch on that a little bit. She coordinates student activities at our Clearfield campus and was really involved with activities here on campus when she was an LHU undergrad student as well. We have over 100 clubs and organizations, intramurals, lots of leadership potential in those areas as well. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention tutorial services, which includes lots of tutoring for many different classes. And then we also have the Math Center, the Psych Center, and the Science Center, I believe, which are kind of subcompartments of tutoring that are available to all students, of course, free of charge to our students. This is only a quick rundown of the many, many student support areas that we have on campus, but these are kind of the ones that will at least get you started in the right direction for most questions that students have. So our second trivia question here is, name this building. Again, the prize will be given at the beginning of the fall semester. You can answer in the chat box. If you know this building, name this building. It is our newest residence hall on campus. It is Fairview Suites, opened in 2012, holds a special place in my heart because I was a residence hall director back in 2012 when we opened it. And so I had the pleasure of being one of the first professional staff members to run and manage that building. So it's a great community. I want to take an opportunity each week as we go through these lunch sessions to highlight some areas. And today I want to highlight Bentley Dining Hall. And, you know, students, you know, always have a mixed opinion of dining halls on any campus and the food provided. But as someone who has been eating lunch there for 21 years now, and having been home for what, two and a half months now, I miss Bentley and I miss having lunch there. I miss eating at Chick-fil-A on every Friday. You can catch me eating at Chick-fil-A, and the rest of the week you can usually catch me eating upstairs in the main all-you-can-eat dining hall. And so our dining hall has, of course, we have Starbucks and Chick-fil-A, Bentley Market, which is a kind of a convenience store, smoothie kind of place. We have what's called the Grill Works in the Italian kitchen as well. Lots of great places to eat. We have a remote location down at East Campus, which is Nanobites. And I'll ask the students in the room, I always struggle to describe the type of food that Nanobites is. What would you describe Nanobites as?
It's like soups and sandwiches, and there's also Starbucks in it. So, and it's really, really good. They also make like breakfast sandwiches too.
Thanks, Kirsten.
Absolutely great.
And as I said, you know, we have a lot of great places to eat. You know, I'll let my staff members tell you, you know, I mentioned probably Chick-fil-A is my favorite place to eat. I look forward to Friday every week. I can't eat there every day because I get a ridiculous amount of food. But I'll let my staff members kind of share their favorite places to eat on campus as well. We'll go in the same order as we did for introductions.
I don't think I have a favorite place. It all just kind of, you have so many options, and it's all, for me personally, it's all just like, what kind of mood am I in, you know? Each place has really great options, but I don't know. I think Lower Bentley at Grill Works, they have some really great mozzarella sticks, so that's mine.
I'd say Grillworks too. There was a substation a couple years back. Grillworks took it over. So if you need something to grab real quick and go, I like stopping there and grabbing a wrap and taking it with me.
For me, kind of like Kirsten, for me, it kind of just depends on what kind of mood I'm in. So I tend to gear more towards Upper Bentley or the buffet style. And there's such a variety of food they have up there. So I kind of just gear more towards that.
Caitlin, you can offer your favorite too if you want to.
Okay, I would have to say my favorite's probably Chick-fil-A or Starbucks because that's just what I'm used to and that's what I always go to.
And yeah, as I mentioned, Starbucks is my favorite. And for anybody who's out there that's worried about restricted diets or accommodations in that manner, I speak from experience in that I am gluten-free and that I eat in Upper Bentley every day for lunch, and there are plenty of options up there. There's a registered dietitian on campus that if you don't know what is safe or what is appropriate for you to eat, she is happy to work with you. And she comes with a wealth of experience and can point you right to the things that are appropriate for you. So that's got a Bentley dining hall, and we'll pause for questions at the end. And if anybody has any questions, then feel free to put them in the chat or let me know. And so the other area I want to highlight, talking about the theme of the week is kind of food, is the Haven Cupboard, which launched this past year on campus. It's an on-campus food pantry operated by the wonderful Dr. Amy Downs. I was kind of hoping she would pop in today, but I don't see her in the room. But we do have students that work for us for orientation here that are also involved with the Haven Cupboard. It is open every Wednesday, 1 to 5 p.m. at the former Beth Yehuda Synagogue, which is right across from our LHU's East Campus in the Science Center. So it is open for students. We've seen a pretty big uptick in students needing a kind of food pantry assistance, particularly during the COVID and situation with our students who are left on campus here. Kirsten has worked with the food pantry, I think, for most of the year, Kirsten, and I'll let her add anything that she thinks would be good to hear about.
Yeah, so the cupboard's it's been a really big hit. Last statistic or facts that we kind of went over and talked about is roughly 10% of the students at Lock Haven do go to the cupboard and receive foods and stuff like that. So it really is used heavily by the students, and it's really great. It's very friendly. It doesn't really have has a very upbeat, happy, friendly vibe to it when you walk in. So you don't really get the walking in to get some free food type vibe, I guess you could say. And we also offer a bunch of different types of food, and we do go off of kind of food guidelines. So we have foods from every food group. We rotate foods every week, so you're not getting the same thing every Wednesday. And also we have lots of yummy snacks. So it's not just boring pasta or ramen. You really get a really great variety. We also have razors and body wash, stuff like that to help with hygiene if that were ever a need for students. And yeah, kind of have it all. It's great.
Thanks, Kirsten.
Yeah.
It was recently featured on a news story too on WNEP. For those of you that are from northeastern Pennsylvania, WNEP did a nice feature story on the Haven Cupboard, and that aired, I think, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it was a nice feature. You can catch it on WNEP's site or on our website as well if you want to learn a little bit more about it. All right. So I want to do some gentle reminders about summer orientation. A reminder that we're having these sessions every Thursday as we go through much of the summer. We'll have the same meeting ID as we go through the summer. There'll be special topics as well. You can find that schedule on the orientation website, which is down below. Like I said, we'll continue to use the same meeting ID. You'll hear from another LHU student next week. Summer orientation, we have 6 dates to choose from. A lot of folks have already registered. If you are interested in that first date, I can probably safely say that date is going to max out on capacity. So if you're looking at that first Tuesday date in late June, that one is well on pace to fill up. And if you're wondering why we have capacities when we're using Zoom, it's that certain Zoom licensing only allows a certain amount of folks in the room. And we cap it at a lower rate than that because we've noticed significant degradation in performance and experience for everyone. And we want everyone to have a good experience. So we are likely to hit that capacity on that first date. We'll also be launching our online orientation modules, which will be proceed at your own pace. They'll launch in late June, early July. You'll hear more information about that at your orientation session. And that's a supplement to the live orientation stuff. All that stuff that you won't remember if we throw it to you in Zoom. That's a little better to present via video or text-based stuff. So you'll hear more about that as we go through. At this point, I want to throw it open to any questions, thoughts, concerns that folks may have about anything at LHU. We've got a wealth of experience, and you have 4 students in the room, and myself I've been at LHU now for, what did I say, 21 years, which is a really hard number for me to say out loud. But we are happy to answer questions, either unmuting yourself or posting them in the chat, and we'll do our best to answer you or direct you to someone who can answer you. So are there any questions for us at this point? Are you going to read it to me, Kirsten?
Yeah.
Are you going to answer?
I'll read it and I can answer it. So Pollyanna wants to know, when is the cupboard open and is anyone allowed to go? So the cupboard is open every single Wednesday from 1 to 5 for students. And anyone that's a student like at Lock Haven can go. The only requirement is that you have to be enrolled in at least 1 credit. So that's the only kind of criteria that a person has to have in order to go to the cupboard.
Thank you. Any other questions? Well, folks, that concludes our second Thursday lunch break topic. My staff and I will hang out in the room for a few more moments if anybody has any questions they want to ask of us. Otherwise, thank you for joining us today. I hope you continue to join us throughout the summer as your time permits. Otherwise, we will see you at one of the orientation sessions. Thank you very much.